Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how you doing today?
Doing well. It's been a long time since we played.
Ages, months, it feels like. But here we are again with some more Dicing with Death.
Here we are again, picking up where we left off last night.
Mm-hmm.
At the Goblin Bar.
Yes, Phoenix.
Drinking a bit too much swill. What do they call it?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'm a bit over my head, out of my depth with the number of ogres like posted up around here. So my general plan is probably to get back to Dragon Peak and relay some intelligence. And collect myself. I probably haven't gathered enough XP to level or anything, but I kind of feel like I could use a little bit more power to take care of the situation. But before I go, there are probably some loose ends to clear up and maybe a little bit more details to clarify. So I don't know if I don't know where we're picking up, if this is like the morning after, or if this is...
It could be the morning after.
The late that night. I would like to wrap up with those goblins I was talking to.
Sure.
And then probably the tavern keeper, and maybe anyone else that I have interacted with enough to like identify me.
There was that woman.
Celeste or something. Yeah.
That's her name. There was the woman Celeste.
If I could find Celeste, that would be the third one, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah.
Well, let's start with the goblins and see where the day takes us.
Cool. So are we day? So maybe I don't know if it's still like it's the wee hours of the morning and I'm still with them and drinking all night, or if it's like I catch them the next morning.
Well, they
on the stoop out front or something, or the.
They had arrived in Kneecap in the AM, and for them it was the wee hours of the morning. Because it was like 11 a.m. So when you're hanging out with them, it's like, almost noon. And for them, they're exhausted because they're nocturnal creatures. And for you, it's like the early part of the day. So the sun is bright and shining outside, but this place is dark and dreary. It's one of those, you're in the dive bar and it feels like nighttime, but the moment you step outside, you're like, oh shit, it's noon. Oh my God.
Okay, so I am going to hypnotize the goblins. And how many of them did you say there were?
3 times 6 is 18 goblins, 4 ogres, and 3 humans and the bartender.
Oh, this is all in the bar. So this is okay.
Yeah.
But it's big enough that it's not crowded. Oh, it is crowded.
The ogres take up a lot of space, and so everyone else is crowded off to the side. There's room, but it's not. It's kind of cozy.
Okay. So I already got from the goblins that some knight by the name of Kel Lacona. Am I saying that right? Lacona is running things around here, and that I was a little bit shocked last night to learn. I don't even know. But anyways. So I don't think there's much more information I could actually get. I need to know more about this Calicona person before I leave. At least to figure out which little lordling from the Highlands she was in her former life, and I guess figure out the power structure. Like, how is she bossing ogres around? Is she the only person? But those seem like questions to ask, like the barkeep or something like that. I think with the goblins, I'm just gonna hypnotize them and make the reasonable suggestion that it'd be safer for the lot of us if they just forgot that they ever met me, or if they just kept it to themselves. So if they get a save, and what I didn't realize last time I cast this is there's a penalty of 2 if they can meet my gaze, and I would assume being like in close quarters at a bar, making eye contact.
Oh yeah, I didn't
that. I can't remember who the last time it was I hypnotized kobolds? No. Who did I hypnotize last time? Maybe it was also the goblins?
It was the
Anyways.
It was a person who stopped you when you came into the city, like a thug who was like speaking in Mystrian.
So 4 goblins. How many did you say there were? Are there more than 4? Or is there...
There's more than 4, but like the table can't fit. Like you were only really interacting with them.
So it's the main, the main guy that I was talking with.
The 3 at the end of the table plus
you background goblins.
Yeah.
And I don't know how obvious it is to other patrons that I'm casting a spell. Hopefully it's fairly subtle, somatic, verbal. Like I think I just go snake eyes again and look into their souls and make the polite, reasonable request that it'd be best for a lot of us if we pretend like this conversation never happened. Pretend we never met. So I assume you can roll their failure, probably at -2. I think they're making eye contact.
I've rolled the dice. The goblins look at you and nod and be like,
and then
it's
I
always
will
bad
disappear.
to pay attention to what the bigger people are saying.
Yeah, and proceed to... I think I need to hypnotize the bartender and also Celeste if I can find her and make a similar request. Not that I'm like afraid of people. I mean, I just, muddy the waters, clean up a little bit of the traces. Maybe there will be rumors of... But anyways, I think the bartender, should I hypnotize after? Because I can only make one reasonable request. If I want him to... If I want to get information out of the bartender, I'd probably do that before I hypnotize him.
That would make sense.
I think I will sit down, and I know I've got 7 charisma, so maybe I'm not going to get much in the way of rumors. But I would like to talk to maybe not the bartender. Who owns this inn? Like who? The patron, whatever. Who have I been paying rent to the last couple of nights?
Oh, that's it. Okay, so this is the inn down the street from where you've been staying. This is
this
a
is
different
the Goblin Dive
establishment.
Bar.
This is the Goblin Dive Bar.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably not this. So I'll leave here then. Yeah, after the Goblin. Yeah, and then
You go to the
back
place that you
my
were
original,
staying. Right, got it. Okay,
the original innkeeper. I don't remember if I ever got a name. I don't know if it really matters.
I don't think you did get a name.
It'd be best for the both of us if we forgot that we ever met.
Yeah, it's the same person all the time. It doesn't look like there's a lot of staff here. Like there's goblin servants.
Am I able to catch them
bartender.
alone, or are there other witnesses?
At this time of day, there's maybe like 2 people who are just drowning their sorrows or, trying to forget all the horrors that they've seen. And they're kind of off by themselves. So the bartender's just there waiting to pour them another drink. You can, catch him at the end of the bar and have him walk down to you.
And I think I'll lean in closely as he drops off my drink and ask him bluntly, so who's this Kel Lacana I hear runs things around here? And set my generous tip on the table. I'm probably closing up, right? So I probably owe money, I'm guessing. I think I stayed a day later than I paid for.
Yeah, you did.
Thrown around. I've been laying
bar
down gold coins. So I think
the
I'll
barkeep
have
kind of waves away your coin and goes,
I don't even
Celeste covered
I think
your
I've got
costs.
I've got a gold coin in my in my hand, ready to clear out my tab and pay and then check out.
So what was the question? I've already forgotten.
I leaned in and surreptitiously asked who this Kel Lacona was.
All right.
Kel
Lacana. Well, she's the knight out of Dawngate. Lost of her family. Runs the lead mine just in the woods.
Why is she here and not in Dawngate?
Fucking Drakissians ran everyone out. Came with their dragons and burned everything to the ground.
Does she have?
She's got.
Is he also being surreptitious about this, or is he answering questions like it's not a big
super
deal?
Casually, like it's a ordinary
I could have
knowledge.
walked in from the beginning and just straight up asked.
Maybe people were kind of, when you showed up and didn't have this information, people were surprised initially. But you've been in town for a couple of days now, and so I think the surprise has worn off.
Does she have Bannerman, or is she, or just her and the ogres out there?
Her and the ogres and the goblins and the locals. Which you're
Locals?
definitely not. Yeah, the locals. The former Kneecapians or the
Does he
Kneecaps.
sound like he's from the Laconish Islands?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. It's one of them like southern mystery
Does it count
accents.
as? I think I'm in the Laconish lowlands. It's like the villages down in that little valley or whatever. But
Yeah. Well, actually, this is the highlands. This is the
Yeah.
lowlands over here.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's literally
okay.
a place
So it's
called
like an
lowlands.
alpine village or something. I mean, it's probably not that high, but it's up in the hills. This village.
Yeah. Yeah.
My former village. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
these
from
people-
the Laconish Islands. We're speaking Mystrian, right?
You're speaking mystery, and these people
And he
sound
is
like
too
they're
as well,
from.
so with my accent, right? He's also like a refugee from the Highland. Okay.
Yep.
I don't have any like heraldry proficiency or anything or local history. I think there's probably just no chance that I know who this lady is, right?
You
She's
sort of
some
recognize
daughter
the
of a
lame.
noble. I know I know
Yeah.
the name is the ruling family's name. Like, right? It's in the name of the fucking of the.
It's the name of the area. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but you're not familiar with this person in particular. Yeah.
Okay. So what was this Cal? Was she the Duchess down in Dawngate?
He shakes his head. No,
Who's-
she's just one of the fine knights of Mystria who tried to preserve our dear country for the betterment of all
does she-
people.
How does she get the ogres to listen to her?
Well, she makes an example of the ones who don't. And ogres, strong as they are, dumb as bricks, and certainly respect the might of the axe.
Yeah. I feel
And she
like
carries a big ass axe.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've just about gotten everything out of the innkeeper that I need. I think about
So,
here is when I
yeah,
cast my hypnotism.
Tell me, stranger, how are you in Kneecap without knowing anything about what's going on here? What are you just
I'm definitely
wandering around?
Definitely casting a spell right now. So I go full on Snake Eyes, and I hope he fails his saving throw.
Well, he fails his surprise check with a natural
5.
one.
So I think everyone here. I say it. I hiss it loud enough for everyone in the room to hear, and they all make spell saves. I think there's a chance that the other. You said there were 3 guys in the corner or something that they don't meet my gaze.
Yeah,
but
they
I look in their
definitely
direction and try to catch them. But yeah, they're okay. They avoid it. So
they're just kind of doing
they
their
make
own
saves
thing.
normally. The innkeep makes a save at -2,
Okay.
and again, just instead of this time in mystery and instead of goblin, but I make the reasonable suggestion that it'd be better for all of us if we just forgot that we ever met and back out the door and leave town. I think. Oh, if I can, if I can find Celeste. I will
There was
attempt to
that
hypnotize
fortress.
her as well, but
There's that
What's that?
fortress near the smelting area at the back of town. And if Celeste is in charge, then that's her fortress.
Celeste, not Cal Laconi, unless Celeste is Cal Laconi. Okay. So I will. You can't just get into the fortress though. There's like a guard outside. I'll swing by on the way out of town.
Yeah, you go
And-
swinging back. You were here just a couple hours ago, maybe. And there's this wall that goes around like a fresh palisade wall, and then you can see a wooden structure that's kind of extended out, a stone structure that's at the inner core, and the outer wall has a gate on it, and there are a pair of mismatched armored soldiers. Soldiers is kind of a strong word here. They've got some banded mail, but the bottom half of the banded mail is missing, so it's like a crop top banded mail, but then they've got chain mail that they've sewn on that hangs down the rest of it, and leather armor on one side and padded armor on the other side, and one bronze knee greave and another copper greave over here. So just armor that they've pilfered off of dead bodies, definitely. And for weapons, they carry spears. No uniforms, nothing like that, but there's a pair of them. They're pretty gritty folks. They got some muscles. They look like they've been around the block and they've been in a couple of fights. They look like seasoned soldiers who are just,
Yeah.
robbing the
I
dead for
approach
gear.
to about 5 yards, and I will ask if the Kel is in. Like if I, yeah, I don't know. I
They blink
guess
at
I'll
you.
gauge the situation, but
The knight? Kelikana? No. Why would she be here?
sorry, the Celeste, and I think I get ready to cast my hypnotism on these guards if I don't get like a reasonable response at that.
Yeah. Hold on, I need to open up my handy dandy chart of consequences.
There's a consequences chart.
Oh,
There's
that's
a critical hit table for social interactions.
I developed one. Yes, yes. I wasn't, I wasn't weird enough. I needed to develop a table for social interactions so I can roll on it to determine how people interact with each other.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That if Neal made the crit table for social interactions, there's going to be some weird ones.
What did you say your charisma score was?
Not great. 6, I think. Maybe 7. 7.
Well, 6 or 7 matters because you rolled a 14 on the die. So
That
7
doesn't actually matter. Oh, 7 is a pass. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that. Okay. Everything goes well for you, surprisingly. The guard goes, "Yeah, Celeste, stranger. He's here."
Can you? Okay. My name's Phoenix. Can you pass on that I'd like an audience? I guess I'm looking at there's a closed door behind them, right?
The gate's open. They're
Oh, it's
standing on
open.
either side of
Okay.
the gate, but like they're standing in the way that you would have to stop and talk to them. It's not like
Yeah.
warm, welcoming gate.
So I guess I like super self-consciously or like unsuredly, like way out of my element in terms of like etiquette and social class. Like, how do I make an appointment? And I guess I passed my charisma check. So I think like if there's a way to get an audience with her, I put in that request and get in line. I don't know. Does one of them, yeah, what happens?
You ask if you can get an audience with her, and one of the guards nods a couple of times, like seemingly unsure of what's going on, but rolling with it, and beckons with one hand, and he walks with it, his spear in his left, and he motions with his right hand, and heads into the walled compound.
I will nervously follow unless I see like a shit ton of soldiers inside or something, like I'm walking into some super dangerous situation. If I feel like I can run for an exit or right, I'll follow, but I don't want to like walk into like a walled courtyard and
No, the inside of the courtyard looks more like a junkyard. There's like some wagons that have broken wheels. There is like a small makeshift shed where there's just like spare weapons that have been tossed, and they don't look like they're in particularly good condition or shape. There's a different spare shed that has like little scraps of armor and shields that have been tossed in there. And then there's just miscellaneous tools that might be useful or might not be useful. Some planks of wood that are in pretty good shape, but like they're not organized well. They're just kind of stacked up. It's the vibe of like we're collecting things that maybe we might need one day, and we don't have time to organize it, or we don't have the willpower to organize it. And beyond the courtyard is this wooden extension of the main building. It's got these like nice big slats out in front of it. So when it's summertime, to kind of like help keep the inside shaded, but also makes everything a little bit darker once you enter in. And he'll walk, through the little gateway in the slats, past the overhang into the initial building where there's a fireplace with no fire going in it right now. And just sort of an empty waiting room with some mismatched benches that look like they've been pulled from various temples. Some of them are nice, like dark wood with a fine polish. Others are hastily constructed pine. They look like pews, I guess you would call it. And they're scattered around in here. And the guard just kind of motions to one of the pews as he heads to the back wall, gives a knock on the wooden door before opening the door, stepping in, saying, "We got a strange man out here looking for her ladyship."
So there's no line, right?
No line. And then there's a voice inside
Hey.
that's kind of indistinct, and the guard motions for you again and says, walk
Who's
on
the
in.
voice? Did I recognize the voice?
No, you did not.
Okay. Strange. They just let strange men in. Got it.
Yep.
I did give them my name, by the way, which I don't have enough hypnotism spells to make them forget that one. But anyway, so maybe
Yeah,
they
you
already
gave it,
forgot
but they probably just
and
weren't
I
paying enough
will
attention.
follow after.
Yeah.
So you said pews. Was this a chapel or something, or is it just an awkward bench seat, or
They've,
dragged
like,
from a chapel somewhere?
Yeah, they've scavenged pews
Okay.
from chapels in order to make their waiting room. You step into this antechamber. It's not quite the waiting room, but this is where, if you were a proper noble, this would be like where your chancellor hangs out, who like would keep your paperwork and create like a gap or. But all we see here is sort of a tallish goblin, like way too tall to be a regular goblin, with like too square of a jaw, but he's definitely a goblin. He's got like the slight flop to his ears that makes it
This
distinctive.
isn't Martin Flat Ears, is it?
Maybe.
It's like quite the specimen of a goblin. Okay.
And the goblin
So-
sits behind the small desk, and he gets up. And as he gets up, you can hear like the chains around his waist move. And he steps to the side of the desk, and you can see that the goblin's like physically chained to the desk on like a 6-foot chain. But so he can't run away, but he stays here. And he looks over at you from below. Goes, "What do you want?"
Is he speaking Mystrian or Goblin?
Mystrian.
An audience with her ladyship.
Yeah, of
can
course
tell
you
her-
do. I heard that. What do you want?
You can tell her Phoenix is here to.
What, she gonna know that name? You expected or something?
Shrug and expect him to like deliver the message, or I guess he's chained to a desk, so he can't. How does he? What's the process here?
You don't know, but there's a fucking chained up goblin who's like, what do you
Yeah.
want?
Is there a window?
No, this room is dark as fuck. The only light that's coming in is like through
Am
the
I-
room, then through the other room, and
Yeah. Am I on the ground floor, or have I been
Ground
up
floor.
or down? Okay. And the only way out is back the way I came, right?
well, there is another
Out to the
door that
courtyard and
is
the
shut.
gardens.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a door forward that probably goes to Celeste's chamber.
It's
and
like so
there's-
it's like a weird back or side office or something to this warehouse. Is that where?
Yeah, I'm
led?
gonna do a quick doodle so we're all on the same
That's
page
fine.
here.
I'm good with you.
Okay.
Never mind. Just trying to get into it. I shrug. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Figured I could get a word before I left town. Just tell her Phoenix is here, and I try to look confident.
all right, whatever you say. And he goes back around the table and goes out to the other side of the table and sort of like walks around it awkwardly to get to the door. His chain reaches far enough that he can like knock on the door, and he'll hit it a few times. And he'll wait. And he'll look back at you with the eyes of like, this might take a while. And after 30 seconds or so of waiting, he knocks again. And shortly, I guess you would call him a himbo, a handsome but dumb-looking man wearing no shirt and just a loincloth, opens the door and looks down at the goblin.
Your internet lagged to the perfect spot. I heard you say a himbo wearing, and then you disconnected, and I didn't hear what he was wearing, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, just a loincloth.
Looking over his shoulder, is there what's behind him? Before I,
Behind
react.
him,
is it like a room? Is he coming out of a room, or is it another hallway, or another?
it is a room.
Antechamber to an antechamber to an antechamber.
no, this is a throne room is too strong of a word because it's not really a throne. But there is a single chair in the middle of what looks like it probably used to be an atrium, because this is now the stone building that you're looking into. And this is probably the atrium or the foyer of the stone building. And there's like a single chair there, and there must be like a skylight above because there's like a spot of sunlight that kind of shines down directly before the chair. Not not like the chair's beyond the sunbeam. And otherwise, you can't see much from just looking in this doorway, but it looks kind of like
see someone sitting in the chair?
No, the chair's empty.
Okay. Does the himbo? He opens the door to say like what or like see what's happening.
The goblin says like, there's this guy here. His name's Phoenix. He wants to talk to Celeste. He says he's leaving town soon and she needs to speak with him. And the himbo goes, oh, okay. Celeste, sweetie, there's a man here to see you. And he kind of steps to the side, and Celeste will kind of appear from out of frame, like behind a wall that you can't see because of the door. And she will head over towards the chair, and with a motion to him, he'll point at you and be like, purple man, stand in the light.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Yeah, I will step forward and I guess make a polite, like, lunge of a bow into the beam from the skylight or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And bow and say, "Milady." I don't have an etiquette proficiency, but I know how to bow when a lord or lady,
of course,
rides their horse down the road or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't realize I was speaking to nobility last night.
She laughs or scoffs at you. Nobility. That's rich. That's rich.
I will quickly look around and take in the room. Is it just the himbo and Celeste and the goblin?
No, there's three other himbos in here.
Oh God, are they all lightly clad? Any of them armed?
They're all lightly clad. There appears to be one large king-size bed in this room as well, and that's where the other himbos are kind of hanging out, just plopped around on the bed. There's a rack of weapons near the bed, and then on the other side of the chamber, if we're looking at the map, it's like the chair is directly in front of you in the middle of this chamber. The bed is on the right side, and the weapons racks are over here as well. And then on the far side over here are some tables with like scraps of bread and wheels of cheese and casks of wine and ale and water and that sort of stuff, and some cookware. And then there's some toilet stuff over in the right corner.
Yeah. Is this doodle roughly to scale in... So
no,
looking like maybe 15 feet.
No, not to scale at all. I would say
much bigger.
I would say the depth across is probably maybe 20 feet, and then the width is maybe 30 feet. Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm in the skylight though. I am in the center of the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not quite dead center. It shines more in the entryway than it does anywhere else, like 5 feet.
Yep. But then, I stay standing in the light and see what Celeste has to say. Yeah. So I didn't realize I was in the presence of nobility. But she just she came and sat down at like my table at the inn the other night, and asking a lot of questions, but she was pretty stealth.
Yeah. Well, here she is. She's not wearing her armor. She's just wearing some light, loose clothes. She sits in the chair.
She had leather armor last time?
Before she had leather armor and a short sword, yeah.
Okay.
And now she'll, tapping her bare foot on the floor a couple of times while her foot crosses on her knee. She leans forward a bit and says, "So, you've come to the keep. Or keep, right? You want to tell me who you are? What you're doing here?"
Yeah. I was just heading out of town. Thought we might... One more chance to clear the air.
Of course.
I'm here looking for a dark night. I say as if it's the most normal thing in the world, and maybe...
Well, you've come to the right place. There is most certainly a dark night in the woods.
I'm like, okay. I was like
mimics.
super on edge, waiting for her to be like, I'm the Dark Knight. Guards, get him! And then the himbos all turn into werewolves, and no, it wasn't her.
No.
I nod. Lacana?
That's the one.
Is she Mystrian? Is she talking with the
She's speaking
Highland
with a
accent?
perfect Mystrian accent. Yeah. Now I've got a question for
same
you.
region? Yeah.
Same region, yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Well, I know your name
okay,
is
this is in
Phoenix. Yeah, in character. In character, she says, "Now a question for you. I know your name is Phoenix, but I don't know why you're here. So, Phoenix, man of purple robes and plenty of money, what are you doing in Kneecap?"
I just told you. I'm looking for a dark knight.
Certainly, but you haven't told me why you're here. You looking for a dark knight means nothing. Why are you looking for this knight?
What can you tell me about this Kel Lacana?
I'd be happy to tell you anything I know after you answer my question.
Yeah. I don't say that in character. That was Ryan reading spells. I don't know how far I can. Oh wait, hypnotism lasts 1 round plus so 2 rounds. I think I just cast my hypnotism now and make my suggestions. So let's see.
Well, it's a 30-foot cube, so you can definitely hit everyone in the room.
Yeah. Okay.
And it
Can
has
I
a
just cast my
casting
spell,
time
or
of
does anyone
1.
go to interrupt? Yeah. It's so unless they're like, I mean, you can.
She
It
is
seems,
not
it seems unlikely that in a social
surprised.
situation someone would like. Yeah. I don't even know if you'd. Anyway, so do we roll for initiative? I guess, or are we? Or are they just surprised and I can cast a spell?
No, we are gonna roll for initiative because you start moving your hands and speaking
yeah,
words.
That's super slow. Yeah.
And she's clearly someone who has no small amount of power. She's not a stranger to
Yeah.
spells.
Yeah.
I don't have a token for her yet, so we're just
fine.
gonna roll
roll
it.
a d10 plus 3 or something.
And she rolls an 8.
So she goes faster. She could like punch me in the face or something when I start going.
Yeah, so
I start like swaying. Like I'm not answering her question. Start swaying and maybe like
The
wheezing a
hand
little bit
comes
under my
up.
breath. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she
So-
hops out of her chair and goes to shove you to the ground, like tries to interrupt your spell. So just a 1d20 plus 3 to hit. 15 will hit your AC
That does
14.
actually hit.
And give me an
And-
opposed strength check.
Is she? So this is a shove, right? So this wasn't.
Yeah, it's
wasn't
not
like
a damaging
damage-dealing
attack, but it's a. Ooh, she got good
I just
strength.
fail, so I
too.
fall down, and
yeah.
probably. Damn, that probably interrupts my spell.
Yeah, that's the
Do I
point
lose the
of
MP
this.
right away?
Yes, you do.
Oh, this is bad. This is
Mm-hmm.
bad.
She shoves you down. You hit the ground. You're in the room. Well, Mr.
I
Wizard.
will- Damn, I'm out of MP. I got a GTFO. I think I just run. And the door is still open behind me, right?
No, the himbo shut it.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I
And
can't-
you're on the ground, probably on your butt.
Yeah, and then on my
she-
turn, I assume I can get myself up, but I can't. My spell was interrupted. And do I lose the MP?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm fucked. I like jump out of. Is there a window in this room? Just the skylight.
There's the skylight. There are what appears like there probably were some other doors, but they've been collapsed, and behind them is rubble. And so this is just like this is the end of the dungeon. This is her bedroom / throne room, and there's just the one door in and out. Yeah. She stands over you in her light clothes.
So I think like
feet.
she sees I start swaying and my eyes flicker serpentine. They're probably like pupils dilating all weird as I'm trying to cast the spell, and she knocks me down before it finishes. But she saw a glimpse of what I really am, or what I become.
Something.
And
Yeah.
I guess I won't stand up all the way. She like knocks me down, and I stay kneeling and I say I was going to politely request that it might be better if we all forget that this that this meeting happened. But yeah, she clearly interrupts my spell and shoves me, and I don't know how many of the himbos saw that I was casting realized what was happening.
Oh, they probably don't understand, but they understand when Celeste pushes you and they get to their feet and they get like ready.
But I think
they're too dumb to know what's going on.
Is she now standing in the?
She
light?
is now standing in the spotlight. Okay. Yeah, and with the sunlight shining
like,
down on her.
Kneeling in the shadows next to her.
You can see the sweat on her brow.
Stay kneeling. I got nothing. I gotta roll over and show my soft underbelly.
I'd say
so I am a servant of Radium. I say it in a thick Mystrian accent that sounds like savant, and savant of Radium, and I'm here looking for a dark knight. I say, looking cowed, right? Like it's because my face is all mangled. I got no charisma, only one good eye, and I just crumpled like a 2 HP.
I see, she says. This is all beginning to come together. Because who in their right mind would come all the way out to the ass end of the world, voluntarily walk into occupied territory where people become lead miners, and hang out at a bar other than someone who answers to a higher power and who does not fear what we have here? I see. And this serpentine bitch you serve, why is she sending you here?
I shrug and shake my head.
I didn't know why Scoria sent me anywhere either.
There have been complaints. Wait, did she say Scoria? Sorry,
she did.
A bit of internet.
Yeah, she said, I don't know why Scoria sent me anywhere either.
Oh, okay. So she's like admitting that she was some kind of...
Yeah, she has no problem.
Or something under... I've never... Okay.
I see.
You're not in league with this Dark Knight, are you? I say, sounding more scared than I just grumbled.
In league.
What did you say your name was?
I am Celeste. No, lady. Let's not pretend. Okay. I'm Celeste. I own Kneecap and everything in it. And Cal Lacana is making her fortune in the Dalag Wood, wielding her might and power for all the good of the world, producing copious amounts of lead. That's a good thing we have going on here.
Is lead useful for anything? Am I aware of?
You use it to make pewter. You use it in plumbing. You know, some people use it for makeup. Some people use it for silverware. You know, all the things that are bad, people use it for that because they don't know yet.
It's soft and it's easy to work with.
Exactly. Yeah. Makes great paint. Lovely paint chips. The best tasting paint chips.
Is she in? I mean, I think I'm just looking pretty pathetic right now. I'm a level 1 warlock with no MP left. If she has questions, I'll probably roll over and answer them. But
yeah, she does have questions.
Yeah. I think the tone changes. I answer her questions.
So tell me about Radium. Is she comfortably serving that Nancy in Crownhold? That would-be King McGarry?
Her radiance serves all that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That was just an insult. That would seem like a rhetorical question. Out of care, I think I'm in stunned silence to that.
I can't believe you would serve the servant of some foreigner, some foreign king and his foreign dragon, and here you are licking their boots. slopping it up. You could have been with us. You could have been on the right side of history, sir. What made you crawl to this golden dragon, this golden idol?
I've been burned once before. I won't be on the wrong side this time.
She nods like that's a respectable answer. Like that's something she understands and agrees with on some level.
So she's not like she isn't the secret Dark Knight in the Woods. Is she processing this? Is this like what do you call it? A supply depot? Not exactly. Like are they transporting the ore through this facility? I'm asking that out of character. Like looking around, is that like is she?
You get the vibe that Kneecap is like
from Kelakana. Is that what's happening here?
Kind of like Kneecap is a place of civilization and supply depot, and this thing in the woods is just like one aspect of the things that are going on here. So.
Okay.
There's sort of like separate enterprises that are happening, and they're connected because, it's just part of the global supply chain.
Okay.
Right. There's probably not like a lot of loyalty or love going on between these characters. They're just like, they each have their own ambitions. They happen to overlap, so they're working together. That's the vibe you're getting.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you were to visit Kelakana, what would you do?
I will do her Radiance's bidding.
And what is that? Are you here to capture?
I won't know until I see them. Can I gauge? I'm like super socially inept. I don't think I'm going to get much more out of this conversation. I think I'm kind of just kneeling for my life here, trying to get out of this this box.
Can you cast any useful spells?
I stare her down and say, I'm not sure what you mean.
What I'm asking is if I put you in a room with Kelakana, can you kill her? Because she wears very thick armor. It's very hard to get through, and she's well protected. Ogres? No. We'll deal with the ogres. Just you and her in a room.
Just me and her?
Can you throw some magic missiles or a fireball or cast lightning from your ass?
A little straighter. Is she truly a Dark Knight? Or
the darkest. Ooh, so bad. Yes. She looks like greedily at you, like this is a golden opportunity that she's been waiting for.
I really wish I knew more. I mean, I guess my plan was to leave town right here and head back to Dragon Peak, but I must sleep. But if you could arrange a meeting with the Dark Knight, I could,
Could you kill her quickly? Can you do it in a minute? Tell me about how... She pauses and walks to the door behind you, turning her back to you, like completely leaving her guard down. There's the other himbos in the room, so, she's not that vulnerable in this moment, but it just goes to show that she doesn't really consider you much of a threat. She opens the door and she yells at the goblin, "Get over here!" And the goblin gets to the door and he gets to the end of his chains. And she looks at you, and you're kind of standing up now, and she says, "Kill this goblin. Let me see how quickly you do it." The goblin looks at you with big eyes. His ears droop a little bit more. And he kind of hunches his back and he sinks down.
Is this the guy chained to a desk?
Yeah, it's like oddly tall goblin with the oddly square jaw. He kind of just shrivels a little bit. Come on, dispatch him for me.
I shake my head. What is that's, yeah.
Well,
I'm not
go
here to kill
tell
slaves, but a dark night is a whole nother matter. Yeah, I don't know.
And why is that we're here to deal with this night? You said there had been a complaint? What does that mean?
I don't rightly know.
Right. Well, I think it'd be best for both of us if you were on your way and sent, talk to your worm woman and sent someone a little bit more capable to deal with Kelakana, because she wears thick plate and wields a large two-handed axe and is very, very dangerous. And it would be lovely if she met her end quickly.
How does she control the ogres?
Not through magic, but pure might.
Does she come through town?
Rarely, but I can incentivize her to come through town. And the woman shuts the door in front of the goblin again, heads back to the chair, and plops back down in it, this time leaning back in the chair and crossing one leg over the other. And she kind of waves at the himbos who sit back down in the bed and relax once more. Phoenix, what are we going to do?
I'm thinking through this. I feel like I have enough. I've heard enough about this Dark Knight. I haven't even met them yet, but they sound pretty like a tyrant.
That's a vibe.
And what do we do with tyrants? Do we have any?
We throw them into oligarchy ditch.
Yeah, throw them into oligarchy ditch. Yeah. Yeah. I will leave if that is your wish, but if you can truly get me alone with the Dark Knight.
I can. But if I do so, you need to be successful. Can't lure her into an ambush and have it fail. You understand? But you have magic. You're a spellcaster. Her armor means nothing to you. That plate could be an inch thick, and still, somehow, your magic missiles would pierce it. Your fireballs would roast her. Your shocking grasp would fry her from the inside out. Your chill touch would slow her bones. Your acid arrows would eat her armor alive and cook her flesh as well. What do you have? What is your most powerful spell, wizard? She says, misrepresenting your type of magic.
Look, I wasn't faster than you. What makes you think I'll be faster than a Dark Knight? I see your point.
Well, if you were sent by Radium, was hoping that meant something. But I suppose it's good to know that she is weak, has weak followers. And as soon as this king on the throne is gone, we'll make our return.
You think her insight, your insults, can change the will of Radiance? If you're asking me to leave your town, I will. But
I'm asking you to do the same thing your dragon is. I want you to kill Kel-Lakana.
I lick my lips and try to. I can't feel radium at all, can I? Through the scale, or am I totally?
No.
So is
the
that
scale
a point
is
of
just
contact?
no. The scale. Without the scale, you feel like a loss of contact, like you miss her. With the scale, it's sort of neutral, and then in her presence, it's just like a basking glow of, not quite warmth and love, but like power and awe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she would feel about any of this.
No.
Yeah. And did I get more feelings when I was getting the quest, or was it all verbal?
You were getting more feelings when you were given the quest, and the feelings were a lot of like figure out what's happening, and if you can understand what needs to be done, then do what needs to be done. But it was much more of like a preliminary check of the area was your understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's time that you see yourself out, Phoenix.
Yeah, I think I crawl away with my tail between my legs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you go
Hoping
past
to cover
the
up
weird
tracks
goblin.
at with Celeste, but it seems like I just well, I don't know. I got a ton of information, but I don't think I'm powerful enough to either have myself or her convinced that I would I would need it would need to go well. She would need the knight would need to fail their save, or I would probably get my head chopped off in about a minute.
Yeah.
I got spells that could knock out a single NES level fighter, but if they pass their save, I don't get a round two.
What do you have that would knock him out?
I could
sleep.
any number of things. Sleep and hypnotism are both, and light would blind. Ideally, like if I had several rounds, I would start with the blind and then blardy blar. But I could.
I think you can exit the keep. Why don't we take our short break right here, and we'll be back on the other side with a little bit more Dicing with Death.
Yeah, perfect. Think through our next moves.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Dragons. So,
I would like to flee Kneecap. And is it possible to go to cross to Dawngate, or if I recall, that was a little complicated?
Well, now that you're in Kneecap, you can see if you can get down to the harbor area. The problem is that when you go from Dawngate, you can stop at the harbor, and then you have to climb the huge fucking staircase, and then you get to the gate at the top of the staircase, and it could just be closed, and they could not let you in. So...
But does Dawngate have an open...
Yeah,
port,
totally.
Open harbor?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to go to the gate and see if I can flee out the gate and hitch a barge cross into Dawngate.
All right. You head down stair. You head to the wall at Kneecap where it guards the stairwell, and standing at the wall are a couple of soldiers, same sort of mismatched armor. That's actually at the back of the fortress is where the staircase down goes. And you kind of have to go out of the fortress and then realize that, like, oh, you got to go through the fortress to get there. Then you can do it. That's not a problem. No one stops you. No one gets in your way. They'll let you through. They seem fine letting you out, but the gates were shut, and they opened them to let you go down.
I guess, okay, before I, like, walk through the gates, I'll ask if there are any, whatever, boats leaving for Dawngate. Ships? How wide is the canal? A couple miles?
3 miles, yeah.
That's ships, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Ask if there are any ships at the dock.
They say there's a couple of fishermen who live down there or work down there.
Wait. Is Wayfarer the okay? So it's not like that. So that hire their vessels out for passage to Dawngate.
They shrug. They're probably eager for the money. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So then
why are you headed back to the old country anyway? Place is a shithole. They say, speaking perfect Mystrian.
I shrug. I say commitments. And I will walk past them and I guess head down the switchbacks to the docks.
Yep.
And hope that I can bribe a fisherman with a gold coin to skip fishing for the day and sail me across. How many boats are there down? Like, what's the situation past the gate?
There's like 30 or 40 boats down here, and they're all tied up in different ways. They've got that vibe of like this is their house and their boat. They've got these like big colorful awnings that are sort of faded from the sunlight, and they're attached in ways that kind of create like little mini corridors with nets on them, so you can like catch your fish and then dump them in like this net that's also in the canal, and that way you can just pull fish out as you need them, and you can overcatch and then store them there.
I will try to discreetly find a fisherman. The vessel looks seaworthy, or at least canal worthy.
Yeah.
And ask what's going. I mean, a gold coin is a lot, but not out of the realm of possibility, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'll just like have a gold coin and ask if they can buy me passage to Dawngate.
Absolutely.
And hope that the first fisherman I find isn't a murder hobo.
Nope. The first fisherman you find is eager to take your gold and sell you the 3 miles across the canal. That's probably 5 miles to where Dawngate is, actually. But that's not a problem. Dawngate's section on the canal is marked by a waterfall because the Night River goes through Dawngate, and then it kind of just like dumps off the cliff. And if there's a little bit of wind, then the waterfall never hits the bottom of the canal. But if it's really still, then the water will make it all the way down. And today is a still day.
Is the dock on like past the waterfall, or do you dock before?
You dock on one side of the waterfall, on this side of the waterfall, whatever that is.
Okay, so you circle around it to approach the harbor or whatever.
Yep. And so they'll just boat you over, drop you off, and boat on back.
Dawngate is a walled keep, right?
It's a castle. It's a full-on fortress city.
Castle.
Yeah.
I've been to Dawngate maybe once, maybe not. It's like a 2-day walk. No, probably not, actually, right? I've been to Half Hill for trading.
I think your people trade with Half Hill a hell of a lot more than Dawngate.
Is like that's like a couple days across.
And this area has always been known to be pretty monster infested. Yeah. So your folks would head like down the Emerald Run, or you might go across this way to Half Hill, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a wall around the whole city too, including the dock, or is the dock just, or I can just get off the dock and head up into the
there is
the city proper?
No, you gotta have to hike up the mountain to get to the dock, up the hill, up the cliff. Yeah. And then Dawngate's a proper bastion of civilization, if that's what you can call it in this day and age. It was badly damaged during the war, sort of like Kneecap, but this place is actually in the process of being repaired, and it's just swarmed with Drakissian soldiers, knights and mercenaries and man-at-arms and people who are just like doing their 3 months of service for the year. And they're moving in packs of like 6 all over the place. Usually like 5 in like random
Is this
infantry.
Something I would have heard about? They're drafting or they're
Yep, they can, except for the harvest season, they can script people for 3 months of work at a time, and then you do your 3 months, and then you're done for the year, or probably done for a couple of years.
Does
actually,
that make me a draft dodger?
No, they're not drafting Mystrians. They're drafting Drakissians.
Mystrians are exceptions.
You can't be trusted. That's the thing. Like the Drakissians will not trust you.
We're a hillbilly underclass that. Okay.
Yeah, like the Roman army was made up of Roman citizens for a very long time because you wouldn't. Yeah. Those are the people who actually have some skin in the game, and you wouldn't trust the other Italians with it. Up until Marius's reforms.
Keep my head low and try to slip into the city, find a inn room for the night, find a tavern to hear some rumors, because that goes so well with 5 charisma.
Yeah, you're going to have to shell out another gold for docking fees and bullshit government charges.
Gold, or do they
a whole
like 9
gold.
silver or something? Okay.
A whole gold, yeah.
That's fine. I keep pulling them out of my pocket like they're coming out of thin air. My bigger concern is that people notice that I've got like diamond dust, I don't know, glittering my cheeks.
And into the mostly ruined city we go, because it is, I think it's the year 1516 now, but it's like January, so it's...
Yeah. Can I find like an adventurer's bar somewhere
Absolutely.
in town and shell out some coin for ale and a room for the night? And
yes, you can. It's more like a mercenary bar than an adventure bar, but same, right? Same vibe of
perfect.
Miscellaneous folks.
Okay. And I maybe try to play it up a little, like I'll flip my robe back so that it wraps around the sickle, so it looks a little bit more like I'm a mercenary, and go in, buy a drink, buy a room.
Yeah, you find a nice cozy place.
I need to sleep for 9 hours to top up my MP, but I think before that I have whatever dinner and drinks, and I depending on how crowded it is, either I'm the awkward outcast in the corner or the slathering peasant in their midst that
it's quite busy, so you are the awkward outcast in the corner. And I just to set the scene a little bit here.
Sharing an awkward table with people because there's not enough tables.
Exactly.
I think I'm just like stooped in the corner, eating and drinking and listening. My perception is also bad, so I'm even worse at listening as I am at asking for rumors. But
I imagine the thing that burned your eye also probably like melted your ear, so it's kind of like sealed closed on one side. Yeah. The tavern...
Should I roll something, or are we just...
The tavern/inn that you're in is a stone building. It's like 4 stories tall. The bottom floor is something else, so you gotta like walk up a staircase to get to the area where the actual inn is. But it was so badly damaged in the war that like a section of the wall is just open and missing. So like the wind is blowing past, and you can hear and see...
Does the place have a name?
It does. It's called Famous Bix Tavern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder who that was named after.
He's probably dead by now. Right. But you're sitting here, and you're going to make your checks. Go ahead and make me... we're just going to use the old school DMG rules for noticing things.
I think unless you're an elf, you just don't notice anything, right?
Well, it's going to be a roll of a d6.
Secret doors? Am I looking for secret doors?
There's like secret and hidden, and we're looking for probably hidden doors.
Probably like a 5 and like a 2 on it, like 2 out of 6 for just a layman.
I'm trying to find the rules. I think it's a 1 or a 2. Maybe even a 3. You want low for certain.
Okay. So it's not even adjusted by stats or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I can roll while you look up the rules or not. 4, I don't think matters.
I don't think it matters either. But I do vaguely want to know. Chance to hear noise by race. Wow.
By race? Oh God, the 80s were a different time.
Yep. Dwarves, humans, and half elves have a 3 out of 20 chance. Elves and halflings have a 4 out of 20 chance, and gnomes are the best hearing creatures at all. They've got a 5 out of 20 chance.
All right. Okay. No,
yeah, so
I think
you
it's just too
listen.
loud. I got a melted ear. And I think if I can just keep my head low and rest for the night, that is what I am going to do. Cover my MP.
All right. Please shell out 5 silver for room and board for the night.
Got it. Well, my last silver. Only pockets full of gold left. And I think I will slip out of Dawn Gate and head north up the coast to Stout End.
Yep, that's less than a day's away. There's a trail that connects the two places, and there's plenty of stuff on the road. Lots of carts, lots of soldiers, lots of riders. It's a very busy time in the world.
I think I just book it and try to avoid encounters. And yeah, I probably stay a night in Stout and top up my rations so that I can like camp out on the plains and then make it to Bridgelight in 2 days.
Yeah.
Maybe even just power through that and just like rest and eat, but like don't sleep very well.
Well, you're gonna have to stop
like,
at
murdered
night
on the plains.
You're not gonna be able to really find your way in the middle of the nighttime.
Okay, so I stop at night. Okay, yeah. I try to keep watch by myself.
Yeah, this place has just recently been overrun with war, so there's not really much in the way of monsters around, but there are the occasional bands of brigands, which can pose a threat. So I'm just going to roll a quick encounter check to see if there's any brigands between Stout End and Bridgelight. You can find the way just by looking for Sky Peak and following that.
Should I pay for lodging in Stout End, or is there like an abandoned barn I can sleep in?
You can sleep in an abandoned barn if you don't mind sleeping rough.
Yeah.
You don't need to gain extra
it,
MP.
But yeah, I'm trying to keep it more discreet than anything, right? Just look like a lone peasant fleeing across the countryside.
Yeah. Well, it's a quick, easy hop from Stout End to Bridgelight. It's 2 days. You encounter nothing, and then
it's a rough night in the middle. But in Bridgelight, I would, if I can break a gold in Bridgelight, is it civilized enough that I'm?
Yep.
We're back in Mystery of Property, right?
Yeah, you're safe. This is safe territory. You can just make your way to Dragon's Peak. It'll be a few
probably
days.
Another full gold to get home, right? If I stay Bridgelight, High Meadow.
Yeah, it's
and then I head back to
middle
Dragon's
of winter,
Peak.
so the days are short. So you'll have to like camp between Bridgelight and High Meadow.
Is the main entrance you cross the Dead River and then you go up through the Wormwood?
Yep, that's it. And a little bit later, days later, you will find yourself back in the comfort of Dragon's Peak, back in the warmth of the mountains, where
the warmth of the Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, because it's winter, as we said, and it's cold out there at night. It's really cold.
Yeah, that was a rough journey.
That was a miserable journey.
Were you counting days? It was like 2 weeks or so.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days from Kneecap to Dragon's Peak.
I feel like if I had known it was winter and we were all bundled up during all of those scenes, that might have changed things a little bit. But perhaps I'm running eerily hot, warm these days, and I didn't even notice. The chill didn't even get to you. But Dragon's Peak is like a sauna.
Yes, the very rocks here are warm to the touch. It's quite comfortable, and you can head in.
What is it like now going past I feel like there was a camp, like a guard camp at the road, and then to the trail, and then there was were people. There was another camp outside of the.
There was
entrance.
Yes.
Okay. What's it like now? Do I just like walk past them in gold and purple robes? And
you are wearing the right robes, right? You're wearing the official Servant of Scoria robes, and the people who hang out.
Radium.
Radium. Sorry, thank you. I'm so used to saying Scoria. These people who guard the lair themselves understand who you are, and part of your months of indoctrination involved, walking the grounds and meeting the people and meeting the guards so that you wouldn't have trouble coming in and out. So these people are not friends of yours, but they're not strangers to you either. You might remember the guard captain's name, but not the individual people that not the common soldiers. But they'll see you and they'll happily wave you in with a welcome home and bring you back into the lair.
All right. I will go to make a report. It sounds like I've stayed there long enough that I would have noticed what standard practices, right? What's typical when a acolyte or whatever comes back from a quest? Do they immediately go to her radiance and deliver a report, or
no, of course not? You go to your higher ups. Yeah.
Okay.
You go to your higher ups. You tell them what's going on, and then
I call them? What do we call? Are they my bros? Are they
What do you think the appropriate term for your superior officer, so to speak, in a dragon cult would be?
I don't know. Like, what's the philosophy here? Is there a defined hierarchy, or are we all
defined hierarchy? Definitely.
Okay, yeah.
There's people who are further along the commitment ladder who have more of Radium's trust, and who are
so who's the higher up that I'm talking to? Does he have
great question.
He's got a forked tongue, snake eyes.
The problem is I haven't finished making the commitment table, so
wings,
I don't know.
Wings.
I don't know yet what they're going to look like. But I think
it's highly individual,
modified.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, because even when you get really far down the ladder, you only get a few levels of, few horns here.
But I do think the
forked
person you're talking to does have a forked tongue, and the backs of their hands are covered in golden scales, and you can see golden scales like coming up their neck to their cheekbone. The neck down. And here in the lair, they do not attempt to hide it even slightly.
Where do is there like a dorm? Is this like a...
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like a break room, the coffee room? Where are we talking?
There's a barracks for the servants. There's an altar for prayers because, just because you're following Radium doesn't mean you don't also pay respects to the gods. There's a sanctum where magic can be practiced, and you can attune with your powers and work on things as needed. There's
a lava room for disposal.
There's a couple of lava chambers lying around for different uses. There's the throne room, the Hall of Mirrors. The
Hall of Mirrors is separate, right? Or is that one and the same?
It's the Hall of Mirrors is the same as a throne room. There's a chair positioned on top of a dais, and all these mirrors scattered around the room.
Yeah.
So that wherever you are, some mirror will reflect
Radium
her.
Takes audience, or is that not used anymore?
No, that's where Scoria used to take audience in human form. Radium doesn't really hang out there very much. In fact, I don't think you've ever seen her hang out there. She doesn't prefer to take human form and sit in the room to make everyone feel uncomfortable. Radium's actually a cool, good dragon. So she's not trying to use intimidation tactics.
By the Monstrous Manual, gold dragons are often encountered in human form. But
perhaps.
Who am I to question her radiance?
Yeah.
Okay, so excuse me. Where am I having this?
You'll be having this conversation
Congress.
in the sanctum.
Where am I having Congress with my superior? I don't know what I call him yet. You haven't made up the cult, but
her name. I rolled some dice. It's another woman.
Another woman. Wait.
Well, Radium's a woman, Kel'Lakana's a woman, and Celeste is a woman. They've been randomizing all of these, and it's just
except they're all just young women with 16 hotness.
What do you think this is? Hardly Heroes? No. The woman you're talking to here is definitely not young. I wouldn't call her old, but like upper middle age. Definitely, and she's got the forked tongue and the dragon scales.
Her a name, if not a title.
I was trying, but then you interrupted. Yes, you keep. It's fine. It's fine.
You're reading your can for a name. Is that
Sometimes.
what's happening right now?
Maybe.
We need a patron, Neal.
I'm definitely not naming her Kel Kroger though. That would be a bad name. Wouldn't be Kel anyway. She the title that she would go by would be.
I don't need a name. We all Phoenix isn't my name. I was reborn.
That's true.
I assume it's similar for here, right? She's like her name might be Gold Flame or Sparkle Tail or I don't know.
Let's go with Gold Scale then. All right.
And that's like her name, right? There's like 16 or so of us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need title. You just got name, Gold Scale, and that's a name. It's a title. Maybe maybe if things grow, there will be more Gold Scales. But...
It's a small cult. You don't need titles in a cult this small.
Yeah,
right.
You just know that Gold Scales. Yeah, she dominates me for sure.
It's all cult of personality.
So I'll come in and like all looking a little worse for the wear and out of breath from travels and candidly report what I learned in Kneecap. There's a dark knight named Kelikana. I would know how to pronounce that because it's where I'm from, but Ryan does not speak Mystrian. And that they're commanding a half dozen or so ogres and running a lead strip mine, and it's a little bit of above my whatever my power level, and I'm just bringing back intel. Yeah,
is it worth the attention? Is it a particularly oppressive regime?
It's the complaints of the, what do we call like the people that come to us? the people. The complaints of the people are accurate. It is a dark night. Oh, right.
Just the one
enslaving. Yeah, working alone with ogres to enslave people and goblins and strip the earth of its
lead,
of its ore. Yeah, lead.
She begins to give you a proper lecture, as one cult leader does to a sub cult person, about the properties of lead and how lead is an important tool in the realm of magic, because lead and silver interact with magic in interesting ways.
I am a brewer and I don't know, a smart cookie. So I think I'm probably like working on a fucking alchemy proficiency that may or may not exist. It might all be bunk. You might not actually be able to turn lead to gold, but I'll probably be investing proficiency slots in it until I realize that you can't. But yeah, so I will slather up the lecture on lead and its I don't know, its use even as a base metal.
She thinks on this for a moment and says, we should ask her divine radiance for direction. Lead, though dull and not useful as a weapon of war nor as armor, is not without value, not without practice. There may be something here worth more than the simple justice we can bring. Her divineness, unfortunately, is in Crownhold, dealing with the succession of one king after another.
I don't think I give a shit about the disappearance of a king and the passing of the crown. I am eager to head into one of the, what do they call the laboratories, and try to practice whatever she was going.
Well, let's talk about experience here, because you cast some spells.
I cast some spells. I was looking back at optional experience rules in the DMG, and I don't think I do get experience for learning spells, but I do for
They don't, but
casting them.
I've added that in because I think that
Okay.
that belongs. You
But
cast one hypnotize on kobolds. You cast one on the man at the gate. You cast one on the goblins. You cast one on the dude. These are all successful. One on the barkeep. So that's 4 hypnotisms.
Is that the only spell that I cast?
No, there was a sleep spell
Clearly my
somewhere in
signature
here
spell.
that you cast.
It failed, though. I think I tried to sleep an ogre and didn't roll enough hit die.
Right. Okay, so it was just the 4 spells.
Their armor doesn't count because that just goes in the background.
Right. And you
cast a cantrip on some kobolds. Or were you mixing up cantrip and
I think I was mixing up
hypnotism?
cantrip and hypnotize, yeah.
I hypnotized the goblins. I cantripped at the kobolds. I might have cast 2 spells in that kobold encounter.
It was just the one, I think.
It was just the one? Okay.
It was just the one,
So I think
yeah.
it's 5 spells, which is like 50 XP each. No, sorry, 250 XP. Plus, if you want to give me for spell learning. And then there was a first session with a lot of like background, and basically this campaign is just a peasant huffing it across the hills. There's a lot of hill huffing montages.
They don't call you Huffschmid for nothing. Okay, so spells successfully researched. You're not getting full research, but you are going to get XP for learned. How many spells did you learn?
8 successful learned.
So 800 for learned.
So is researched 100 per, or is it?
I'm doing 100 per spell level for researched.
Okay, and you're giving that for learned as well.
Yeah.
At least in this
I'm
case.
sorry, yeah, I'm doing 100 for learned, 500 for researched.
Okay.
And then you said 5 spell levels. That's 250 for cast.
Like, what are we at? 1,050?
I
I don't think I did I defeat the kobolds in combat? No, I kind of mostly just avoided that encounter.
Yeah, you successfully bypassed the encounter. I'll give it to you.
Combat.
I'll give you experience for kobolds overcoming, because you don't have to kill.
That 15 XP.
And then we're gonna do some quest XP because you visited High Castle, and you actually skipped Longcast, but you went to Kneecap. So High Castle is worth some XP. You didn't stay long. You just kind of walked in and out, so I'm only going to give partial for High Castle, but you did hang out in Kneecap for a while and learned about the area.
Yeah, a couple times I went into the woods and tried to spot the strip mine. But
that's true.
Never got past the ogre perimeter.
Right. You never saw the strip mine proper, so no XP for that. But you did report back with a completed mission of like learning about this stuff, and that is worth not a full. Often the way I try and do quest XP is be like, if a single fighter did this quest on their own, a single first level fighter, would that be worth a level? And I try and be like, figure out that 2000 XP is like, that's a quest that, ignoring the other components of it, that's an amount that would level a person. And so I think the scouting of this area, but not actually completing it, is worth a quarter of that. So 500 for scouting, 300 for your time in Kneecap, 200 for High Castle, 8 for the learning, 250 for the casting, 100 for the kobolds.
I think I'm probably just, if we're doing wizard XP, I think I'm just shy of 2,500, it sounds like.
2150.
I don't 15 is my highest stat, so there's no prerequisites. Are we leveling at 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm at level 1, and I'm gonna try to scrape together some more XP somewhere before I go back to.
Yeah, you need 300.
I want another go at a charm person before I take on this Dark Knight situation. Maybe some more HP. So yeah, we'll hang around for a while. It sounds like we're reporting to her Radiance herself.
Yeah, when she
Where
comes
do I
back.
record XP on this character sheet, by the way?
It should be in the very top.
Right there at the top. Okay. Yeah. What did we say? 2,000.
150.
Oh, 150. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I guess I am. Do I report to her radiant? Oh, she's not back yet. So there's a few days of like waiting and whatever. Non-proficient alchemy in the lab. Do I? Yeah. Oh, we're loaded. I can totally boil lead for
days.
For days and try to turn it into more gold.
You should taste it to see what its properties are, like a real chemist.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't drink lead, kids.
And yeah, I don't know. Is there anything important that happens, or how far long is it until Radium returns?
It's another week and a half until she gets back. So
okay.
Probably getting you near to February. So
I think I'll get bored within a few days. I don't know. Do I get I don't get quests from other.
Well, there's always work to be done. No one's going to let you get bored, right? There's, sweeping out this area, helping haul these rocks. There's, looking into the dragon scales reflection to see your true self. There's chance and there's stuff to do. You're never without labor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not unskilled labor. I'm quite a proficient brewer and
farmer. That's probably what they're going to have you be doing, so, though. Like the monks of old, is that they need someone to brew beer. You can't haul it in.
I got a 15 in my brewing proficiency. I think it's probably. I mean, there's smart folks in this cult, but it's likely that I'm probably one of the best brewers we've got. Right?
Yes, 100%. You're definitely the best brewer. They definitely don't have any others.
So I think that's certain. So that I am. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll get to brewing. I guess a week is enough to probably get a batch like started and brewed and fermenting in a some vessel somewhere.
Yeah. Well, eventually
on the side, I will be practicing my my alchemy, but don't put lead in the beer. That's the first rule of brewing.
No lead in the beer. Got it. What about if you get cold lead? Can you use it as an ice cube?
Yikes. No.
Radium will return in a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. In the beginning of February, essentially, she comes back. And she makes, a nice, comfortable spot for herself. She spends 3 days sleeping because, dragons like to sleep. And they can stay awake for...
Am I the only one who's super anxious, or are all the other...
Oh, of course everyone's anxious. The great worm is back. Everyone huddle around, and she takes a nap and everyone waits, but then days pass and finally she wakes up and everyone's eager, and there's all sorts of reports to be given, and people are chiming in with this thing and that thing, and she hears all the reports and then deals with each person.
I'm way late in the line. There's a bunch of much more important acolytes that go first.
You are 10th in line, sir. Yes.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And it takes days because Radium, in her infinite wisdom, in her vast centuries of experience on this world, understands that all the little details matter. And so she wants to hear everyone's story in full, multiple times, from as many perspectives as they can offer. And so it's she'll ask questions about what was the texture of the ground you were walking on while you're doing this. And you're how could the texture possibly matter? Does it matter if the grass was dry or if it was green? But
she's super patient through the whole process. So she's
so patient.
Yeah. Does she rest at all, or is she just up for days interviewing whatever these?
No, she rests. She has everyone show up in an audience chamber and everyone talks, or one person talks for 8 hours.
Everyone being the whole darn cult, or are there people off
all
doing
the warlocks, all the warlocks who are presently here. None of the servants.
So we all gather together in the treasure chamber in our matching robes. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, and not all 16 are here at a time. I think at this point there's probably only 12 that are here, and 10 of you are off on quests.
But everyone who is in Dragon Peak is here.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm 10th. That's probably a couple days into this conference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to I don't know. I guess have I been present for these before, or was my very first one the one where I got a quest?
No, I think you were present for you've listened
We've
in on
held
these
Congress
before.
many times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I intended to give a short report that there's a a dark night in the was it Drakenwood? The
Dalagwood.
the Dalagwood. The
Yes.
Dalagwood east of Kneecap. Ruling ogres oppressing goblins and people to strip mine lead out of the wood, and it is beyond my abilities to take care of this night. And then I guess it goes on for hours where she asks me what the texture of the grass was. And,
What was Kneecap like? What was Longcast like? Tell me about the kobolds you came across. Oh, they seem to understand magic. How interesting. And she stores that information away for later. And you tell her about Celeste. You tell her about how Celeste wanted you to kill Kel-Lakana, and she seems very interested in this subplot because Celeste doesn't sound like a good person when you describe her. Celeste sounds like a real, tricksy, evil person who seemed to be happy working with Scoria, and doing all these things. And Radium is like, yes, this is a bad person. Yes, I get that. But at the end of the day, the most interesting thing that she has to say to you is that Kel-Lakana comes from the Laconish Highlands or the Laconish Lowlands. It would be an easy thing to find out where she lives. In fact, I already know where the rest of her family lives. They do indeed live in Dawngate, and one of the Lacana daughters is missing, presumed dead. But if you have found her here, if this is that Black Knight, then we know where she is. Her Kel-Lakana, her first name is Dawn. Her family still lives in Dawngate. They have sworn oaths to both King Tyrael and now to King Imric. And part of their oaths are to defend the kingdom, and part of their oaths also promise their children to this cause. So if Kel-Lakana is out in Kneecap doing these terrible deeds, it should be a simple matter to task her family to bring her to justice. And then she pauses to see what you think of this plan of sending her own family after her.
I will speak the words of your radiance to the lords in Dawngate.
You misunderstand, my dear acolyte. I want to know your thoughts on this plan. I've presented you with a plan. Is it a wise one? Is it a foolish one? I need you to be a thinking thing.
I calculate for a moment and come up with, I think it seems the proper order of operations, chain of command, to go to the lords of Laconai in Dawngate and tell them to get their lost Kel in line.
Are you concerned that they may not properly punish their own daughter?
They surely will not. And if it gets worse, we can... Yeah. We may need to escalate. But until then...
She thinks. Radium's a big fan of sitting and thinking on something for a long time. What about this woman named Celeste?
I don't know where she comes from. She's not well, I do know where she comes. She's not noble. I don't know what. Yeah, she. Also from the Highlands. but
does she oppress the people of Kneecap, or is she simply using an appropriate amount of force to keep peace?
I wouldn't call it appropriate, but she's another opportunist. Yeah. Filling the vacuum.
If we were to remove Celeste, surely that vacuum would be filled by another. So tell me, do you think she is the right person to be in that position? Or at least, do you think removing her would allow a worse person to come into power?
She rules not with law, but at least with order. I think she is the lesser of the evils in the Dalag Wood.
The dragon nods.
That is surely true.
Always remember, we look for the big picture, the long game. We can tolerate unpleasant things if their removal causes more harm.
Yeah. She cavorts with the Dark Knight and does not respect your radiance. But I think a burn to the finger will Celeste will fall in line. The Dark Knight, on the other hand, though I have not met her, seems
What do you think
evil.
about the plan of letting this Dark Knight know her family is coming for her ahead of time?
That might scare her into hiding.
Is that good for the common folk, or is that bad for the common folk?
Which folk do you mean? Drekkas?
Those in and around Kneecap. Those who have called upon us for aid.
The Eridonians? Or
Yes.
the Mystrian refugees?
Those who reside in Eridon.
No, I think this Dark Knight Kelakana would flee from Kneecap and oppress somewhere else, and on net wouldn't make a difference.
So best to be rid of her as quickly as possible. Would the ogres then take over the mine? Who would replace Kelakana at that strip mine? Would they be a greater force for evil in this world, or a greater force for good?
I suspect without her organizing things, the ogres and goblins would not have the capacity to run an operation such as a strip mine. So they'd probably scatter and fight amongst themselves, and a little chaos, but...
Excellent. Excellent. I like the way you think. Now tell me, if all good is served by ridding ourselves of Kelakana, should we not prioritize her death over all things? Should we not, say, find a way to kill her in her sleep so it can be done as quickly and easily as possible? How do you feel about killing someone in their sleep, Warlock?
I never met her, but with the things that I heard, I don't know that I would hesitate to kill this Dark Knight were I given the opportunity. Are the other cultists gathered around listening? Like it's all like intense one-on-ones with an audience? Is that what's like there's just
Yeah, you're surrounded by like 11 other people who are all listening and learning and judging.
Get by a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they watch you bathe in dragon's blood too. You know, it's a cult, buddy. You're all in it together. and it's gross.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that your will that this dark night be this darkness be severed at the head?
How we do things is often more important than what we do. It sends
There's
a
probably
message.
mumblings in the from the cult, like, "Oh no, he didn't." Or didn't he? Yeah, anyways.
So tell me,
Yeah.
in what method of slaying this Kelakana would our ends be best served? Should it be done with a quick blade in the night? With the roaring flame of my very own breath? Should it be done as in honorable one-on-one combat? As an uprising of her servants? As a betrayal of her own men? What would be the best way for her to fall from grace?
I am blown away by the possibilities, by the genius of her radiance, and stunned. I don't say that. I show that, or I feel that, or whatever. Project it.
Emote it.
Emote it.
You put the stunned emoji in chat.
Silence.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. My feeble human mind will take a moment to think about that.
Is that code for take a break, or is that just you taking a moment?
No, I think we can probably wrap up this Congress before we go to break. But yeah,
Okay.
We'll break in a minute or two. I think that the best, like, if there are slaves, we should release them. And there's probably no good served by letting these ogres or this Dark Knight walk this earth. So if I had enough power, perhaps I would burn the ogres and free the slaves, but alas, I am but a lowly level 1 initiate, so I came back with what intelligence my good eye could gather. And yeah, I don't know if she give any follow-up lecturing or sagely advice.
I think it would be best left. The best message we could leave would be that employing ogres and goblins is dangerous to their employers. If there could be a way that these goblins or ogres could turn upon Kelakana, if they could be seen to be untrustworthy in some way, shape, or form, I think we would be very well served. Do you have any methods to turn them upon their master?
The ogres are beyond my ken, but I think I know what I must do. I can stir up the goblin slaves. They must vastly outnumber both the ogres and Kelakana herself.
Good. Then, Phoenix. Rise up the goblins. Have them rebel. Show that evil always turns in upon itself, for that is the message we wish to spread.
All right. And I think with that, we can go to break.
All right. See you guys in this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. We've got ourselves a game.
Yeah, so we're headed back to Kneecap to start a goblin rebellion.
And without leveling, we're gonna have to do it at
Right.
level 1.
I think my plan is just going to be to head back to Kneecap and hypnotize goblins until they are inspired enough to overwhelm Kelikana and beat her to death.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
that
hypnotism has a duration, and it's not a long duration. It's a round plus a round per level.
So that's not really going to work. That's like a one. That's like a you could convince a group of 1d6 goblins in the moment that they outnumber Kelikana and they could just
Right. Or that they
choke her to
outnumber.
death. But
You know, you can convince them to do something briefly, and then you're gonna have to find that something to be a thing that inevitably or innately causes conflict amongst the enemies.
yeah.
So you take it. We're just gonna hand wave getting back there because you can do it. It's been done once. It can be done again.
Okay.
But on your way,
I just huff it like a peasant. It seemed like the route I picked was about as efficient as it gets, right?
Yep.
Like taking the road to Thaben, ferry to High Castle, sneak through Smuggler's Pass, and then down the coast to Kneecap. Couple of days, and I think I skip town and go straight into the Dalag Wood and try to find where like the slaves live. I might need to sneak past the ogre perimeter. And again, because I don't speak ogre and I can't fight an ogre, I think I'm just going to try to avoid them. And if it seems like there's a full perimeter around whatever mining operation they've got, I would like to find like one ogre by himself. I don't think they have enough ogres that they're like doubled up. And
right.
Catch them. They're not. Are they nocturnal or are they?
The ogres. Ogre activity cycle any.
Okay.
So you know they do what they got to do.
They're degenerates. They stay up too late and they sleep in and
Mountain Dew ruins their sleep schedule, so they're up at all sorts of hours.
But if you catch them at 2 a.m. on a Mountain Dew binge, then you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a brewing check to see if I remembered to bring like a barrel of grog to share with the goblins? Grog is the word I was looking for, not swill. I was drinking goblin grog in in that dive bar in Kneecap.
Excellent.
Goblin bar. So I've got a barrel of. I've got plenty of encumbrance, I believe. So I've just got a barrel of homebrew that I will bring in, and slip through the woods and hope that I spot the ogre guards before they spot me. I don't know if
there are those goblin patrols that you ran to before. Let's see if we run into one of them this time.
Goblin patrol. How did I get past the goblin patrol?
You hid in a bush.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
You don't run into any goblin patrols this time, so you come on in on that same trail because that's the easy way to find everything. There's no goblin patrols, and eventually you do see leaned up against a tree somewhere, kind of rubbing his back and his butt against the tree, holding a big club in one hand, a big, ugly, stinky ogre whose beer belly hangs over his loincloth.
I'm going to sneak within 30 yards and cast a sleep spell.
All right, let me give the big dumb ogre a perception check.
Let me roll 8. So there's max H die. So I think whether he sees me or not, he'll have to roll a saving throw.
There is no saving throw on sleep.
Oh, really? I just need to roll good. Okay.
You just need to roll well.
I don't know if did he spot me or did
no, he rolled a 6 plus his 12 is an 18. So the ogre is kind of rubbing, and then you just get sleepy.
Yeah, so I sneak within 30 yards and throw some pocket sand, and he falls asleep.
The ogre goes down. Boom. Comes the big snore.
I will, if he's truly alone, right? I'll approach like his post and look like. What directly is it, like east and west in the woods or whatever, like whatever, side to side, and see if there's any other guard spots within sight, or if this is just this ogre at some distance.
You can see The ogre is by himself at this post is a strong word. The only thing that makes this a distinctive place is that there is a tree branch that runs along the road, upon which there have been a few goblins who are hung, and like they were hung here a long time ago. But it serves as like a warning. Did this
ogre at least bring his snacks out here? A little bent or a little stool? What's he's just sitting in the dirt and scratching his butt.
He's got a scratching butt, and he guards the road coming in where the dead goblins are.
I will take all of his valuables while he's asleep, and then
he has a club and a loincloth. Those are his valuables.
I will take his club and lose it in the woods. So I'll take like 4 minutes or something to take his club and scurry whatever, a couple hundred yards off the path and hide it in a bush and then continue back on the path.
Perfect. You're on the path. It heads deeper into the Dalag Wood until you come across, you hear that distant sound of whips, and you see in the distance, because it's, what time of day were you doing this? You could come at any time you want.
I was trying to avoid Ogre's activity cycle, but we realized that you never know with those degenerate bastards. So it's probably whatever time it happened to be. I dodged kneecap, so I'm guessing I came. Where's my?
It is 8 hours after sunup. So
that makes sense. Yep. Wait, so it's like evening. Okay, yeah, right. It's probably 2 days, right? It's probably like I made it like halfway across the plains, and then another second day, and it's probably basically
you got to
twilight.
follow the coastline because there's no good landmarks in the plains, so you probably just like bounce around like this, and then
that's why it takes. Why it's the end of the day or whatever. Anyways.
So it's getting on towards evening now. You slept the one ogre. You pass him down the trail. You can hear the sounds of whips in the distance. There's lanterns their light is sort of fighting with the twilight, the evening light. So it makes it not stand out too much, but you can see some like little dim lanterns out there. And you also see what appears to be a wooden hut, like a log cabin. That is down the road. Like this road is heading towards the log cabin, and probably beyond the log cabin is where it heads to the strip mine.
I will like slip off the road into the woods and peer through a window of the cabin. That makes sense.
Yeah. You can get to the cabin and peer into the window, and in there you will see maybe 6 or 7 prisoners chained to walls, and there is a knight in plate mail standing in front of them. They're the two-handed axe in hand with the axe head resting on the ground and both hands on the haft of it. The knight's back is 3/4 turned towards you, so you can just barely see this axe and handle and everything. The prisoners look pretty weary and tired. Also obvious in the room are a group of, let's call them, sadistic-looking friends of the Dark Knight. We're talking sort of undernourished, lanky people who are looking at the prisoners with gleeful malice in their eyes. In the Dark Knight,
how many?
2, a pair.
2.
Yeah.
I think I might just be pulling an audible and casting sleep right here.
Now, sleep affects 2d4 hit dice. Yeah, you can pick your targets amongst them.
Okay, so I can not sleep the prisoners and attempt to sleep the. It probably starts with the lowest hit die and works on up. So it
does start with the lowest and works on up, but you have to see the people to pick them. So if there's
but I think I can see. I'm looking through the window and I think I can see whatever. I guess this is the Dark Knight, Lakana, whatever, and a couple of men at arms. And I think through the window I can just cast a sleep and hope they don't notice me, or if they do, it's as they're falling asleep.
All right. Well, you speak the words, you pull out your pinch of sand.
And another 8.
Oh my god.
Is there really no saving throw on this thing?
There's no saving throw. It's a really strong spell.
Yeah, sweet. I am hoping she's not 7 hit die, but if she's 6 or under, well, I guess they could be 2 hit die thugs.
If
But anyways, 8.
it can only affect people up to 4 hit dice, 4 plus
Okay.
3. Beyond that, they're unaffected. However, Kel'Lakana is not more than 4th level. And so immediately the 2 sadists, as we're calling them, and the knight sort of crumple and slip to the ground, and the prisoners look around wildly and confusedly.
Yeah.
I did roll their listen checks based on the DMG rules we looked up a moment ago.
Oh, cool. Would a random tangent? Would a character with high con count as a monster with 4 plus 3 hit die? Right. So like a 4th, if you were 4th level, but you had 16 con.
Yes, that would count as 4 plus 8 hit dice.
You're a monster with 4 plus 4 hit die.
Yeah, 4 plus 8 with 16 con.
Okay, 15 would be the cutoff where you would dodge sleep spell.
That'd be 4 plus 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I swoop into the room immediately after they fall asleep. And I hope there's no additional guards lurking in the corners of the cabin, but I'm going to start unleashing prisoners.
When you say swoop into the room, you mean hop through the window?
If the window is openable, yeah, I'll do
There's
that.
no glass. It's a hole in the wall.
It's a shuttered window. And it was cold, so it was probably closed. So I'm guessing I'm like peeking through the shutters. Like they would have closed it at night to keep out the cold. But
they would close it at night to keep out the cold.
As I peer through the shutters, cast a sleep spell.
Yep.
Open the shutters. Maybe I've got to like do I have to unlock them, or are they just?
No, they're not locked. There's no one's concerned about locks out here.
Hop on through and swagger into the room. I didn't see any other guards, right? But I have there's perception. So.
But one door on the other side of the wall here. Yeah, so you're coming in through the back of the cabin. There's a door that leads out to the front. There are some windows on either side, but again, shutters are closed.
Yeah.
There's a fireplace on one end.
And what were they doing with them?
There were, I think I said 4 that were tied up or chained up to the walls.
Why are they chained up? Is there a key on the chain?
Well, they're looking at you super surprised.
Are they under lock and key or?
The chains are held together with like a pin, like they're just pinned to the wall. You would just need to use enough force, like there's a little hammer nearby that you could use to tap it out, but it would make noise to tap out the pins.
Enough noise to wake the sleeping.
Well, not for 5 rounds. They'll keep sleeping unless you shuffle them awake. But if there's a guard on the other side of the door, or if there's anyone walking by, they might hear the pin tapping. On the other hand, maybe no one cares if the guards are, if the pins are coming out. Who knows?
I will ask the slaves.
Ask them.
Well, actually, not with the. Maybe remind them. Yeah.
What do you remind them?
What do you do when the tyrants aren't watching?
Oh,
they're asleep. They live in darkness and thus cannot see past their eyelids. I think I'm gonna cast Unseen Servant and like stay.
Oh.
Right. It lasts a while. What's the material component? Piece of string and a bit of wood. I guess I just like have some string and.
You get string and wood on you.
Pocket. And I will use the Unseen Servant to remove the whatchamafuzum from the wall rather than smacking the hammer around. But I think it
does
lingers
open
around me for an hour and more.
It opens unstuck doors and holds chairs.
Maximum of can pull up to 40 pounds or push or carry 20. So I'm hoping that's enough force to pull the pin out of the wall. It's not a ton, but it's a force.
It's a force. Yeah.
Yeah. You said it was just I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a strength skill, so if it has to roll a strength check, or maybe you can take 40 and figure out what strength square that is.
Um,
Roll a check,
can
but
carry. It's fine. We don't need a check here. I think the pins are, they're hard to pull out because it's hard to get a grip, but the unseen servant can pull and push because it's, an unseen servant doesn't actually interact in normal ways. Then it'll slide these pins out.
As I'm asking them what they would do if
they babble at you in Eridonian.
What they do when the oppressors aren't watching. And I think as I'm saying this, and maybe I am who is this creature in purple robes with the burned face, and they're slathering and you can barely understand what they're saying. Are these slaves Mystrian or are they
Eridonian? They do not speak your tongue.
They may not even speak Mystrian, and on top of that, I'm also casting a spell and speaking these these worm tongue.
Yep.
And I cast Unseen Servant, and I think their little chain pops out of the wall. And
they
there
quickly
are 4 slaves. In a room with their 3 sleeping. So maybe do they run? What do they?
They look at you for sort of direction. They're kind of like, what is going on here? They're confused is their primary answer. But you also seem to be sort of slow moving or hesitating and not, you're not jumping in here and giving them combat
things
actions.
Take a round. This is second edition. So I cast Unseen Servant, and I don't know if it's the end of that round that it does the action to remove the thing. So we're at least a minute or 2 where they have time to react, and
they're going to hop out the window.
Or
in a group, they take the chains.
The oppressors to death, or I think they just run for it, right?
They hop out the window and they skedaddle.
Yeah. I will rifle through their belongings, I guess, while they're magically asleep. See, make sure she doesn't have a magic sword or a...
Well, she's got this big-ass two-handed axe.
Big-ass axe, yeah.
Yeah, the sadistic looking people have some small knives. Each of them has a set of 4 small, differently shaped knives on them.
The axe weighs less than 20 pounds, so the Unseen Servant can gingerly pick it up. It floats across the room and gently is placed in my hand, and I inspect it. I failed detect magic, but I can at least... I don't have I've never handled anything this finely crafted before, right? But is it more than that? Is it worth the GP to be a magic axe, or is it just a big ass axe with the?
It's just a big ass
head, or is it
with a steel head?
Bronze axe, steel head.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's not magic nice. It's not a finely prized possession unless you're a woodcutter.
Yeah.
It's the axe of a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to take the axe and leave. Is there anything that catches my eye before I depart? Hold on. Do I...
There's some nice rugs and furs. Yeah.
I know we discussed with Radium that it would be best if it were organic, right? If the peasants revolted and... Yeah.
But...
I'm not that good. I'm only level 1. I think I just cut off the head of the knight in their sleep and let the peasants flee.
All right.
A peasant uprising would have been better, but I feel like that's justice, and I got the opportunity. We had also talked about the proper order of operations would have been going to Dawn Gate and
There were a lot of
tattletaling,
options. Yeah.
whispering like a snake in their ear.
Mm-hmm.
But they got what they got. And they got a level 1 Phoenix.
Well,
I don't know if there's like a
you can
roll a
just
willpower check for myself or something. I roll a 30. So
That's
I'm
pretty
like,
good.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but it's
justice.
a good roll.
That's I don't know what that means either. Actually, I probably should have defined success and failure before rolling. I was trying to like I don't know.
Well, Radium talked to you about a lot of things, about the right way of doing things, about how things appear, what the long-lasting effects are, risking yourself versus having someone else do your dirty work for you. She didn't quite say it must be done this way, and if you don't do it this way, I'm going to eat you, right? She was trying to present you with options and train you in thinking about long-term consequences of your actions. That was her vibe. So, here you have been presented with an easy opportunity, and maybe...
You know what? You know what I do?
What do you do?
I take the axe with me, and I cast Wizard Mark. And I leave a Wizard Mark on the wall where the chain was pinned.
Oh.
And slip out into the night with her axe, probably. We'll disarm this dark night. Let's see. I think I can choose whether to make it visible or not visible.
Yeah.
And we're making it visible. And I don't know if there's like a
up to 1 square
mark
foot
of the dragon or something, or it's my own personal mark, isn't it? With
6 additional characters of smaller size. It's
I don't know
your
what the
personal
6 additional
room.
characters are.
If you wanted to leave a short message, flee, run, die,
characters
submit.
being like letters or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a word of 6 or less, so you can pretty much just write fuck or something, some message of equivalent length. Okay, I think it's just a magic wizard mark, like charred mark on the wall, like where the unseen servant popped the chain loose and set the slaves free. And I think the the
6 characters.
So I don't think I write a message unless or it's more of What was the moral of the story from Radium? It was
what was the moral of the story?
And does it fit into 6 characters or less?
Well, the moral of the story was that evil always turns in on itself, and she was trying to make that apparent so that other people would not walk down the evil path.
Yeah.
Radium is 6 characters.
No, it's not. Radium. Oh, I don't think that's what I would leave, but that's definitely a thing that a message that you could send sometimes.
I'm trying like something. Flee, submit, hide, repent.
Burn.
Ooh,
is repent 6 characters?
It is.
Yeah. Or like not real.
Go home is 6 characters.
Not that. That's yeah. Something. Is it repent or basically like reevaluate your life choices? It might just be repent, but
sinless. That's too many characters. How
about you sin?
Ooh, you sin. Oh, and that's nice.
A big old like burn, like my personal character. I think it looks like a.
Do you have a doodle you want to doodle?
It looks like someone. No, I think it looks like dragon fire on the wall, but it's just a wizard mark. Right, let's
Mm.
see. The components are diamond dust and pigments for the coloration of the mark. So, and it only casting time of 1, so it goes pretty quick. I mean, I think I just pull this 100 GP of diamond. I think I've got like a pocket full of fucking diamond dust, and I just like rub it in the wall, and it looks like dragon fire.
Mm-hmm.
It like melts the wall and leaves behind you sin as I
Mm.
slip out with the Kel's axe. I don't. Again, I was before that massive tangent. I was asking you if anything else caught my eye before I leave.
No, nothing else caught your eye in here.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's dark and you've got 6 perception, so I think unless you want to do like a lengthy search, there's nothing else.
Nope. I think I will flee. Hope the ogre is still sleeping, and
And make your way
sleep only
back
lasts 5
home.
rounds, so it's been more than 5 rounds. I'm hoping that they either kept sleeping because they're lazy ogres, or like are not doing a great job on guard duty, and I can like sprint past them faster than their movement rate, and like hope. Yeah, we'll see if they notice me or not. So yeah, I guess. Do I notice more slaves or more about the mine? I think
you
I'm
can
I'm out
hear
of
the
MP, so I'm
sound of
trying to
whips
GTFO.
going on right now. Like the mine is right nearby, and there's definitely people who are suffering within it. Yeah, you can hear the occasional like, down you goblins, dig faster, you grub, move that rock.
Yeah. I think I will, but I'll still flee with my. I'm out of MP. Like I'm done.
You flee.
I think I
you
have
head
enough
back down the road.
XP to level up. So out of character, I'm gonna call this mission a temporary success.
Yeah,
and,
let's see if we can get past what's happened with that ogre.
Yeah, what's happened to that ogre? Did he?
Yeah.
He would have woken up. The magic would have worn off. So I guess he would have continued to laze around, or is he like searching in the bushes for his misplaced club?
I'm gonna give him a con check, which is gonna be through
Con? Oh,
1d20 plus 3d4 plus 3. Yeah, if he passes it, then he's well rested. Ogres have very middle of the road con.
Really?
So
That surprises me.
I've decided that ogres have 3d4 plus 3 for con, which is not great. It's not terrible.
It's better than, it can't be as heroic as humans, but average is probably much better.
It's 6 to 15, which averages to 10.5. So it's the same average, but it cuts off the upper and lower ends.
Surprised me. I would have thought don't ogres get a bonus to con? Oh, there's a +3, but
they've
like if you make an ogre PC, I think they get +2 strength, +2 con.
Oh, well,
doesn't matter. This ogre fails his check.
He fails his check. He was napping, and you can skedaddle down the road. Yeah. Make your way back to Kneecap.
It's night, but I think I am out of MP, and I guess I can't see very well in the dark.
No.
So for like my safety, once I've like bumbled past or slithered past the ogre guard, I'll get a safe distance away. I'm probably going to like half movement rate to not roll an ankle and it goes
probably quite a lot less. Yeah, because it's winter time, so there's no starlight, but the moon is out now, and so you can see by moonlight a little bit, well enough to escape the forest, well enough to head down the road in the plains. I don't know if you want to hang out in the plains, but a few lights from town will shine and guide your way.
Do acolytes ever bring, what's her name? Radiant. Gifts or so? Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
right? They come back with like tokens and
absolutely. That's one of the ways that you deepen your connection. That's how you go down.
Totally bringing this axe back to Dragon Peak. It's pretty. I mean, it's not a great tribute. It's probably just gonna get thrown in the lava pit. But I will bring it back and tell
it's the thought that counts.
Tale of how we released. Yeah, we slept the Dark Knight and her men-at-arms and released the slaves and disarmed her and left the warlock mark upon the wall. But anyways, do we need to make any checks, or do we slink our way back?
I think we can slink our way back.
I'm not going through kneecap, so I'm like backtracking. So I like back to Longcast, back through Smuggler's Pass and High Castle, and
okay,
across the canal by boat.
All right, we are going to hand wave the encounters because it's the end of the day in the real world, and we're trying to wrap up. So magically there's no encounters on the way, but that's fine. That is fine. You could deal with kobolds if you needed. You would have MP by then. You have sleep spells. They have less than one hit die each.
As long as that first night I don't get ambushed in the whatever copse of trees or wherever I can find a hunker down.
All right, you are bringing a gift. You are completing the quest, which is worth this much. You cast some spells. So you're going to get 200 for your spells, 500 for your gift. That seems a lot.
Seems a lot for a non-magical
It seems a lot
axe.
for a non-magical axe. We're going to do 200 for the gift. And you got a quarter of the quest before, so now you're going to get the rest of the quest, which is the remaining 1,500. So 1,500 plus 400 is 1,900, plus your 2,150 should bring you to 4050, which will level you.
Cool. Do we throw the axe in the lava pit?
Absolutely not. No, the axe goes into Radium's chamber of gifts and what do we call it? I had a specific term written it here. Tributes. It goes to her tribute area. Every one of her servants who brings her tribute has the tribute placed in a special layer that designates these are the sorts of things that your fellow worshippers, your fellow allies have brought. And there's sort of like a meta within the group of trying to bring back the best tribute, because it's clearly, the better tribute you bring, the higher social status among the group is, and the higher social status with Radium is. And so they're always left out in public as like a semi-public space as a way of arguing.
Is this a woodcutter's axe or is this a battle axe?
It's a war weapon.
War axe. Okay. Is it it's two-handed? So it's like a great axe, or
it's a two-handed great axe with a steel head.
Okay. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shine don't give a shit about it, but
no, that's not exact. She coos at the weapon. She says, "You have done well, my servant. You have intimidated the knight. You have let them know that they are not safe, that they have been seen, and you have shown their allies, her allies, that she is weak. Those men who you left alive in her lair with her will surely spread word amongst the rest that Lakana was knocked out cold, her weapons stolen from her in her own home, and her prisoners freed from beneath her very nose. You have demonstrated to all her servants that she is fragile. It is but time before someone begins to unseat her from her throne. You have done very well."
I would like to roll for HP and spells. Thank you very much, Mistress
Yes.
Radiance.
Yes.
May I please have some spells, Dragon Mommy?
Yes, she will give you your D6 for HP. Don't roll badly.
Yeah, that's what's been really holding this character back. 6.
Oh!
I'll take it. All right, 8 is still not enough to really fuck around with ogres, but I think we're done with that. Okay, and MP goes to 20.
And some new
I get to re-roll
spells.
spells. I think the list is still up there. The real one I want is Charm Person. Although I guess I thought I really wanted to get Charm Person to do this quest, but it seems I managed without it. So we're gonna reroll for charm person 100%. I'm still at the first rung, I assume. So no bonuses to this roll. 10 is less than
good.
my spell chance of 65. So I do learn charm person. And where's the rest of the list? What else? I probably want to reroll detect magic. Trying to what else am I missing? Comprehend languages is nice. Featherfall I also wanted. Wall of fog I also wanted. I got a lot of spells I want to reroll. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Charm person will make it 9, so I can only fit 2 more.
You can fit 3. Oh, unless you pass charm person, you can fit up to 11.
I just passed charm person.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
that was at 10%. 3. So I should probably start thinking of order that I roll these. Featherfall. Oh, is it really cutting? Wait, view all entries. There you go. It's like cutting off midway through the spell list. It's like click here to reload. But I think there's also detect magic. Wall of fog is nice, right? That's just like kill visibility and run with your tail between your legs, right?
But can you even be a spellcaster without detect magic?
Yeah, that's fair enough. So I'll roll detect magic first.
Failed.
Should probably save a slot for that, but I will keep rolling.
Comprehend languages, wall of fog.
Comprehend languages has shown itself to be good, and also wall of fog.
Featherfall.
I can only and I like Featherfall too. And I can only succeed in one of these. So what order do I want? They all seem very dragony. I want them all, Neal. Why did I get Wizard Mark?
You just completed a quest with Wizard Mark. Very well.
All right, Wall of Fog, Featherfall. Am I going to be falling? I want to fly, but I don't know if Featherfall is the ticket. It's kind of a cute dragon one, but Comprehend Languages and Wall of Fog are both sweet. What order do I roll them in? I think Comprehend Languages first.
Do it.
And I pass. And I grab Comprehend Languages. Wall of Fog's good, but I think I'm going to save the last slot for Detect Magic. Right, I'm on my last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to Charm Person, and then adding in Comprehend Languages will fill, and saving a slot for Detect Magic will fill me up. Sweet.
Okay, I'm adding Comprehend Languages to your list. There
Verbal and somatic
goes...
only? Oh, no, material. Is that the, like, ziggurat or something crazy?
Ziggurat?
It's touch. I've got to touch the creature. Touch the creature or writing. Material components, pinch of soot, and a few grains of salt. That's readily available. Pockets full of soot and salt. Sure. All right. Touching ogres sounds dangerous.
Yeah. But you've done it.
It'll come in handy. And we're done with the ogres. Yeah.
For now.
Touching Eridonians sounds dangerous.
Well, with 20 MP, you have many spells available to you.
Yeah, dang. Yes. 20. That's a game changer. I kind of liked rolling for spells with willpower. We did that on Devon. I thought we were going to do that here. But 20 MP
I forgot that we were supposed to be rolling spell failure checks this whole time.
Oh, no. I did too. Should I roll some D100s to see what would have happened? Or I rolled it on like the very first one, and then we've forgotten ever since.
Okay, yeah. 1, 2.
Let's just make sure that we don't have to retcon anything.
6, 7, 8. There we go. That's enough. You didn't fail any of them. Okay. Excellent.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Glad we
That
did
was a
that
close call.
the
We
right
would
way.
have been up all night retconning
Oh
that.
my god, that sounds terrible. I don't want to stay up all night playing Dungeons and Dragons.
We're old men. We don't do that anymore.
Please,
This has been really fun. I don't know when the next time we'll get to play again is, but
well,
I know I was a bit rusty, but so it may not have been entertaining, but I enjoyed it.
It was good. I look forward to the next time your wife and kids leave town. We'll see if we can arrange it. All right, everybody.
Or the next Father's Day or something.
Right.
We'll
Right.
see.
I think that's it, folks. We will see you.
Catch you next year. And thanks for watching.
All right.